welcome to today's video. I am the Dollar Bin Diver, and as my name implies, I do a lot of my comic book hunting in dollar bins, as well as 50-cent bins, and any other discount bin. Today I'll be showing off a rather large haul from some discount bins that I found at a peddler's mall. And I'm going to start off here with a what if Spider-Man had kept his cosmic powers. This is the what if run, I believe, from the 90s, and I'm actually starting to collect a good chunk of this run. These have been some really fun reads so far, so I'm looking forward to jumping into that. But I have a rather large stack to show off today, so moving on to issue number 2 in the 4-issue limited series of West Coast Avengers. I believe I am now only missing issue 1, which may be a little more difficult to find in the dollar bins, but I may jump into that read without issue 1 still. We'll see. Alright, so moving on. This is issue number 7 of Drax. This is by CM Punk. I believe this is a 11 issue run, and this was the last issue I needed to complete this. I was able to find the remaining issues in discount bins before I started doing these videos, so I was quite pleased to find this one to complete that run, and will now be in my completed and to read box. Alright, so moving on. Here is the issue 500 of Thor, a Marvel first fantastic 500th issue. This is a 96 issue Thor, double sized. I know nothing about the story, but I am collecting a good chunk of Thor. I believe I have several in the 400s, and this just being a landmark issue for $1. I couldn't pass that up. Okay, so moving on. The Incredible Hulk, issue 366. What is this? Countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1, the leader. Alright, this is part 3 of 4. I believe I do actually have another couple issues in that run there. So perhaps I can put them together and get to read that here soon. Okay. Continuing on, this is Quest Probe, featuring Spider-Man. This is issue number 2 in this interesting limited series. I believe I have issue 1, now here is issue 2, and I do not know how many issues are in this, but I am excited to potentially find more of these and give these a good read. What does this say? Is this one of Mysterio's illusions, or am I seeing 2 of him? Alright, so here is Solo Avengers starring Hawkeye and Moon Knight. This actually is a duplicate for me, and will be a gift for a friend of mine who I have started getting to collect this run. I believe I have actually completed this Solo Avenger Hawkeye and the continuation of it. So these have been fun reads, mini stories. I actually do not think I've read this one yet. I've bounced around on this run reading it, so. But always nice to find some 1980s comics there, especially Avengers. Okay, moving on. Here is Doctor Strange, issue 32, as well as issue 26. Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. Issue 26, Enter Werewolf by Night. That should be a fun read. And issue 32, oh goodness, Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, and Adam Warlock against the menace of the Silver Dagger. That should be a fun little read there. Alright, let's get these out of the way. Moving on, and I believe all of these so far were only $1 each. This is issue number 1 in Vision and the Scarlet Witch. As you can maybe tell, this is not the best conditioned issue, but I figured this would be a nice reader copy. I have found a few of these issues in the later part of the run, but not issue 1. I believe there's a price sticker there for about $3.50, but I got it for $1 today, so I think I'll take that. Alright, continuing on. This is, supersized annual, The Punisher. Oh, it's the first one. I believe that is 1988. And this was a crossover of the Evolutionary War. I believe there are 8 other comics that cross over in this, and I have several of those. This might actually be one of the last I needed for that event. So I'm excited to dive into that here soon then. Alright, continuing on, here is another annual. This one is Silver Surfer. This is a 91. This was the 4th annual for that run. And this is part of the Korvac Quest crossover series there, that crossover event. So, in battle with the Guardians Galaxy. Very nice. Now, I actually was able to find a couple Silver Surfer early in this run. There's issue 5, issue 7, and issue 9. Now, I believe these are, 1980s Silver Surfer. I want to say this was volume 2, but I'll have to look on that to be sure. But that was all. It's always a nice find to get these early 80s Silver Surfer comics for $1. I believe I have several in that run now at the beginning, and hopefully can start getting some consecutive runs there so I can read more, have a good story. Alright, so moving on, I actually found a couple Fantastic Four. Here is issue 414. This was from 96. Alright, I am going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to do a countdown. So here is issue 387. Also, gotta enjoy that 90s goodness with all the foil. So 387. And moving on, here is issue 381. Fantastic Four, No More. Okay. Issue 370. And, as you can tell, this is an Infinity War crossover. And issue 275. I was able to find these in the bins, all for $1 each. This one is not in the best condition, but always nice to find some early Fantastic Four good reader copies. Speaking of good reader copies, continuing this way, keeping in the Fantastic Four theme, this is Marvel's Greatest Comics, starring the Fantastic Four. I believe this was a reprint style, a reprint run where it is a early Fantastic Four story that is reprinted here. This was from 1977. The Skrulls Take a Slave. As you can see there, Skrull is impersonating this gentleman here. Ben Grimm looks to be in some trouble there. So those are always fun reads because some of those early Silver Age and comics are just out of my price range and out of what I want to pay for a comic that I plan to read. Now this was a nice surprise. I was able to find a couple of the Defenders from the 1970s. There's issue 52, The Prince and the Power. It's the Hulk versus Submariner. It was also nice to find some some Namor covers, especially right now with Black Panther being so popular still, and the movie doing so well. Alright, and also issue 59, Tyranny and Mutation. They're not a new rock group. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, but it looks like an action-packed issue, so that'll be a fun read as well. Alright, and issue 108, Trouble in Paradise. Awesome little cover there with Beast on the front, causing some havoc, and some tentacles there. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. Now, this was probably the most interesting find of the day. Here comes Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, issue 52. And this one did break my dollar limit, but I think I'm okay with that. This is definitely a reader copy, but to get my hands on an early Daredevil like this, especially to have as a reader to enjoy, I'm okay with that. And continuing with the theme of beat up reader copies, moving on to the Avengers, issue 164. As you can maybe tell with the spine there, it has quite a few tears along the spine. It was only bagged, no board, but this one was only $1, so I figured that was a great find. In this issue, the Lethal Legion is back, and the Avengers are finished. And not all of them. Alright, so I actually found several Avengers-related comics. Moving to the opposite end, here's a reprint, a True Believers of Avengers. Actually, it doesn't say what issue it's reprinted, but Avengers Assemble to learn the startling secret of the Hooded One. I have also been trying to find some of these reprints to get to read some of these old stories. Moving on though into issue 316. This is of Avengers. This is guest starring the Amazing Spider-Man. Avengers versus the Hordes of Nebula for the life of Firefox. For me, getting to jump into some of these characters that are just getting into the MCU, such as Star Fox, it makes for a fun little read to understand more of the source material and some of what to expect from these characters potentially in the MCU. Okay, so taking a little turn, but still Avengers, the Uncanny Avengers, issue 19. This was from 2017. This is the Dugan run of Uncanny Avengers. And this cover tells a big part of why I was interested in this run, because of the heavy appearance of Deadpool. What is this one? Oddball Special. This is issue number 4 of that Dugan run. Now, continuing on, we have Uncanny Avengers number 28. Now, actually, I need to look at this, if this is continued from the Dugan run or if this is the Remender run. Regardless, it filled in a gap for me, so I'll be filling that one in and getting closer and closer to reading. I am also collecting the Remender run, and this cover is just awesome there. Not exactly sure what who the gentleman on the left is, but obviously we have Thor there about to cause some damage. Alright, moving on. This might have been one of the big surprises for me, how many of the Invincible Iron Man I was able to find. Now, several of these were priced at $2. I broke my rule there, but considering how many other good issues I found, I figured I could grab a few of these at $2. So here's issue 157, 158, 160, 163, and 165. So I actually grabbed several more Iron Man, but I figured these were worth showing off. So 160, 165, 163, 150, or 158, and 157. Now, going back towards the dollars, my usual price limit, here's issue 202. I did find a good chunk of this Iron Man run. So, moving on though. Issue 276, guest starring the Black Widow. 286 with Avengers West Coast, and looks like we have War Machine there on the cover, going at it against Hawkeye and Wasp. Okay, now this again, some good foil action going on. Iron Man 300, 64-page celebration. Stark leads the Iron Legion against Ultimo, the Living Holocaust. Guest appearance by War Machine. Continuing, issue 306, Redemption. I have actually found a good chunk of these in the 200s and 300s. These were able to fill in some gaps for me. I'm excited to have more consecutive stories there to read. Now, moving on, I have also been collecting as much of the Matt Fraction Invincible Iron Man run as I can. A couple issues, such as issue 9, I believe it is, the first Riri Williams, I will have a very difficult time finding in dollar bins. But a good chunk of this run I have been able to find. As you can see there's issue 12. As some may know, the run up to issue 32 or 33 was numbered as, and then at issue 500, they come back to the legacy numbering. So big jump here to issue 516, Iron Man No More. The Long Way Down Part 2. Issue 519, The Long Way Down Part 4. And I know these are filling in some gaps there, so I hope I should have that little run finished. The Future Part 2. Issue 522. And my last one I found for $1, considering the news of Armor Wars going to be a movie instead of a Disney Plus show. I was really pleased and surprised to find this in the dollar bins. War Machine, issue number 1. Of course, 90s goodness foil. This is the first solo title, War Machine. So always nice to find these issue 1s in the dollar bins. So to show off my crazy ridiculous stack I got today. And I might say that this was almost double the size I would normally pick up, so I figured that meant I should pair that with some double oaked Woodford Reserve. This is Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey finished in a second oak barrel. Alright, so I'll be sampling this, sipping on some of that while enjoying these comics. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed. If you like, please like and subscribe. Thank you.